The story of Harrison Ford is, for many of us, written in the light of a projector. It's the swashbuckling adventure of Indiana Jones, the cynical heroism of Han Solo, and the intense determination of Jack Ryan. These characters are like old friends, their lines and actions etched into our memories. But the man who brought them to life has always remained intriguingly separate, a figure who preferred the quiet of his workshop and the solitude of the sky to the roar of the red carpet. He was never one for sharing his inner world, for dissecting his feelings or his past in public. This made him more compelling, a real-life enigma in a world of overexposure. We knew the hero, but we always wondered about the man. What shaped him? What moved him? Who truly mattered to him beyond the scripted lines and the famous faces? For decades, these questions hung in the air, unanswered. Now, at 83, there is a natural tendency to look back, to take stock of a long and incredible journey. The urgency of the next role is replaced by the wisdom of reflection. It is in this spirit that Harrison Ford has decided to open up, not with a sensational tell-all, but with a thoughtful, heartfelt acknowledgement of the women who fundamentally shaped his path. This isn't about gossip or scandal. It's about gratitude and recognition. It's about a man having lived a full and complex life, naming the pillars of his personal and professional world. He is finally giving voice to the private influences that guided the public figure we all think we know. This act of sharing feels less like a confession and more like a completion of his story, adding a layer of profound humanity to the legendary status we have assigned him for so long. When he begins to speak about these 7 women, his tone is not one of fleeting nostalgia. It is layered with a deep, abiding respect that has withstood the test of time. He isn't just listing names from a dusty old contact book. He is resurrecting presences. Each name represents a chapter in his own growth, a lesson learned, a comfort found, a challenge that made him better. These were the muses, the mentors, the partners, and the quiet forces who saw the man behind the movie star. They are the ones who left a permanent imprint on his soul, the people he finds his mind returning to when he contemplates the winding road of his life. This reflection is his way of mapping the emotional terrain of his 8 decades, showing us that even the most iconic journeys are paved with personal connections. The first woman he names is one that many might expect, yet the depth of his feelings surprises you. He speaks of Mary Marquardt, his first wife. He doesn't talk about the end of their marriage, but about the beginning of everything. He describes a young man, full of uncertainty, trying to find his footing in a city that didn't care about his dreams. Mary was his anchor during those turbulent years. She believed in him when he was just a struggling actor doing carpentry to pay the bills. She created a stable, loving home while he navigated the relentless rejection of Hollywood. He credits her with giving him the emotional safety to fail, to try again, and to eventually find his way. She was the witness to his raw, unformed self, long before the world knew his name. Her faith was the foundation upon which he built his confidence. The second name is one that resonates with cinematic history, Carrie Fisher. His voice softens when he talks about her, a mix of affection and profound loss. He describes the electric, chaotic, and utterly unforgettable experience of meeting her on the set of a little movie called Star Wars. They were both young, thrown into a project no one believed would succeed, and they formed a bond in that pressure cooker. He talks about her wit, which was so sharp and so fast it could leave you breathless with laughter. He talks about her intelligence, her vulnerability, hidden beneath a layer of brilliant sarcasm. Their relationship was complex, blurring the lines between a deep friendship and a romantic history, but was always rooted in a fierce, unshakable mutual understanding. She was his princess, but more importantly, she was his friend who kept him grounded amidst the sudden, staggering fame. He then moves to a figure of immense strength and creativity, Melissa Matheson. Melissa was the brilliant screenwriter behind E.T. the Extraterrestrial, and she became his second wife. When he speaks of her, it is with a tone of awe and deep admiration. He describes her not just as a partner, but as an intellectual and spiritual equal. Her mind, he says, was a beautiful place, full of stories and a deep empathy that influenced him profoundly. She was the calm to his storm, the quiet voice of reason and compassion in his life. Together, they raised a family, and he credits Melissa with teaching him about the depth of a father's love and the importance of being present. She showed him a world beyond the set, a world of literature, of thoughtful conversation, and of a different, more profound kind of success measured in family moments. The fourth woman he names is a testament to the power of a creative partnership that defines an era, Karen Allen. His recollection of their time making Raiders of the Lost Ark is filled with warmth and respect. He didn't need a damsel in distress, he needed a match. And in Karen, he found Marion Ravenwood, a character who could drink a Nepalese Sherpa under the table and stare down danger with just as much grit as Indiana Jones himself. He talks about her incredible talent and her fearless spirit. Their chemistry on screen wasn't manufactured. It was built on a genuine mutual respect and a shared commitment to creating something fun and authentic. She was a partner in the truest sense of the word, making him better in every scene they shared, and that memory of perfect creative synergy is one he clearly cherishes. As he continues, he speaks of a different kind of influence, one of unwavering support and quiet dignity, Callista Flockhart. The change in his demeanor is palpable when he talks about his current wife. He describes a sense of coming home, of finding a peace and partnership that he hadn't known was possible later in life. He admires her grace, her incredible strength as a mother, and her own formidable talent. He credits Callista with bringing a new kind of light and stability into his world. She is, he says, his rock. In a life that has been defined by constant motion and global fame, she has provided a center, a true north. She represents a chapter of renewal, of love found at a time when many people are settling into their routines, proving that it's never too late to build a new and beautiful life. The final two women he names shift the focus from his personal life to the very craft that made him famous. He speaks with reverence about two directors who challenged him and saw more in him than just a movie star. The first is Susan Seidelman, who directed him in the early film The Woman in Red. He acknowledges that it wasn't his biggest hit, but working with a female director with such a distinct, quirky vision was a formative experience. It taught him to be more collaborative, to listen, and to trust a perspective different from the male-dominated directorial style he was used to. She pushed him into a more comedic, vulnerable space, expanding his range at a crucial time. And lastly, he saves a special mention for a contemporary force of nature, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, whom he worked with on the latest Indiana Jones film. His voice fills with energy when he talks about her. He describes her as a whirlwind of creativity, a genius who completely revitalized a franchise he thought was part of his past. He was amazed by her sharp writing, her fearless performance style, and her visionary direction. Working with her, he says, felt like being thrown into the future of storytelling. It was challenging, exhilarating, and reminded him why he fell in love with acting in the first place. She represents the new guard, and his admiration for her is a powerful statement about his own lack of ego and his lifelong commitment to growth. These 7 women, from his first love to his most recent collaborator, form the constellation that has guided his remarkable journey. The echo of a legacy, what these revelations truly mean. Hearing Harrison Ford name these 7 women is about so much more than satisfying public curiosity. It's a key that unlocks a deeper understanding of the man himself. For his entire career, he has been the archetype of the strong, silent, self-reliant American man. He was the one who figured it out, who fought the bad guys, and who got the girl, all with a wry smirk and without breaking a sweat. That was the character. The real man, as he is now revealing, is someone whose life was profoundly shaped by connection, by vulnerability, and by the wisdom and strength of the women around him.